still have ult. I still have ult.
Yeah, it's still
If they come, I can go.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I'm TPing.
I can listen.
Ambessa TP. Can we play more?
Look,
we can look.
It's not good, I think. It's good.
Get Braum.
Bomb is dead.
I get Ambessa, I see. Nice.
It's only us three. Coming now. We can fight. Corki, no W, no flash.
Aliens dead. Look to fight.
You can win. Nice, Supa.
You like that cojones, Supa?
I like it.
Ambessa on me. Is that dead?
Yeah, I move.
Yeah, me. I'm dead.
I'm on HP.
I'm on the
Come here. Braum no flash.
Nice. Can we dash? Can we end?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the LEC, everyone. I'm Ginny, joined with Flakked and Kamiloo in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. Let's talk about that game, because honestly, I thought it was a banger. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, for sure it was a banger, you can tell. I lost a bit my voice, because after taking down the Nexus, we were like shouting a lot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, with coming to this week, right, we have to take some wins if we want to make it to playoffs. So every day was really important. And, you know, like winning today means a lot as well. I think KOI, so far are the best performing team, I would say, like from what we've seen, alongside Fnatic, I would say. So it really means a lot winning this game. And we put so much effort in this week. And I'm really happy, and I'm probably sure that my teammates are really happy as well that the effort is showing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great start and also just a great way of showing what you guys are capable of. I'm gonna have to come to you, Kamiloo, because first of all, you got new glasses. That's nice.
I had to.
Did it help with solo killing Jojo in mid lane?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not that hard, but you know.
Okay, good to know. Let's talk about you being on this Heretic roster as the rookie, and then you have someone like Flakked and Sheo. They're more like your older... Sorry. You're veterans on the team. How has it been for you to have the guidance from such great players as well?
I mean, it's really helpful, like day to day. My teammates are really, I don't know how to say, but you always guide me when I'm curious or things like this. You will always answer me in a really nice way. You know, like I think those teammates that I have is probably the best environment I could have to improve day to day. So I'm really happy to spend the year with them.
Aww, that is so wholesome. How has it been for you to be in that role of like guiding people on the server?
I mean, to me, it's like really refreshing, I would say, especially coming from last year that we had like so many veterans, right?
Yeah.
Coming right now with like a lot of rookies, and I mean, I would say like me and Sheo are like experienced. I wouldn't say like veterans yet, because I'm pretty sure we joined LEC the same year. But I mean, we've been here already like 3 years already. But I mean, to me, it's really refreshing, right? I really enjoy when I see a lot of ambition and I see like people that really live for this game. So to me, it's just fantastic to have the chance to work with this new roster. And so far, I'm enjoying it so much.
That's good to hear. I mean, it's good to hear that you're enjoying it. It's also really good to see what Heretics is capable of doing, because I felt like in a lot of these fights that we were seeing, like we're seeing the Ambessa trying to flank, but it felt like the communication was really on point. Like at some point, you particularly at the Dragon fights when it was soul point, you were making sure that the Ambessa wasn't able to actually get onto that back line. Is that just something that you put yourself in as a mid laner, or was this something that you agreed on as a team?
I mean, a bit of both. Like we as a team have a positional that is nice. Yeah. That helps us a lot to like review team fights and knows whose role is what. And so it kind of feels natural, so we don't always have to communicate about it. I feel like our team fights is a good strength that we have overall right now in this beginning of LEC. So I would say for the moment it's kind of more natural than being talked a lot. Okay. Like we all know kind of what we have to do, and that's it.
If you had to give a player from this game the player of the game, who would it be?
That's a rough one.
It's harder.
Actually...
You can give it to yourself.
I don't know. No, I wouldn't give it to myself. I would give it to Stend probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Stend
I would give it to like Stend or Carlsen.
Oh, see, you guys are so nice because we're actually
no,
looking
I mean, they were like, honestly, they were like 1v9ing, I feel like. I mean, I think Stend was really looking for like a lot of angles because I don't think it's hard.
Yeah.
And for sure, like the way we contested so midway, so we need to review them. But I think like Stend had a lot of like pressure, I would say, this game. to make the actual good engages. And I think Carlsen combos were just like really good.
Yeah,
I think like
yeah.
big reason why Kamiloo was like marking the Ambessa most of the times is because Carlsen was just mentioning it on cooldown. So yeah, I mean, I would give it to like one of them probably.
Well, we're gonna have to give it to you. You're
mean,
the
it's
key
fine.
player
It's
of the
fine. It's
game.
fine.
Yeah, it's
It's
fine.
fine.
I mean, you had a
Love the
good game
Draven.
on the Draven, right? I think.
I mean, I really entered, I think, early game.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't like. I didn't play Draven for like 3 months, like even in solo queue on streams. But today, I just you pull it out.
Why
you know?
today?
Yeah, I mean, basically it's like 4 or 5 AD carry. It's a bit, cringe to just pick Jhin or something like this. So just go something like Mega Chat and just go for a Draven.
So, Kamiloo, for you, like looking forward towards playoffs because you have 2 more matches coming up. What would be your definition of success here in your first split at the LEC?
I mean, I wouldn't really have a definition of success. I'm just happy as long as I play good. For example, I think early game I could have played better, so I'm happy. But I think my team fights were good, so I'm happy about that part. We have to take the small wins and be happy about what you can be happy about. I think.
And that's amazing. Thank you guys both for your
Thank you so
time for
much.
the interview, for the positive vibes. I appreciate it. We are ready to be heading into the next game. Vitality going up against Karmine Corp. So, Mehdi and Vedi, take it away.
You take it away this time, Betty. I always take it away.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're here for our final game of the day. Week 3, day 1, KC versus Vitality. And shout out to Kamiloo and Flakked. I always love the energy that those two bring, especially a young rookie in the mid lane. Always comes across as super enthusiastic and eager to be here. And we're going to be seeing some very enthusiastic players along with their fan base today as KC makes their way onto the Rift. It is
I had to turn you up.
it is a race for the top when it comes to KC. They've set their sights on the top of the table.
And especially with KOI losing the last game, they actually have much more of a statement towards it. If they win this game, obviously tied with Fnatic, head-to-heads would be, I think, the 1v1 between the two, which happened... Does it happen tomorrow?
Fnatic versus KC is tomorrow.
That could be who gets first.
That's exactly. So that's why I'm very excited for that one, because KC... considering what their year was like last year, to end 2 regular seasons in 10th place, to then have a stronger summer, but then fail to make it to the season finals because of their placement throughout the entire year was, I know, very difficult for many of the KC fans in the organization, but coming into winter, they've revamped, they've looked good, they've looked confident, and I'm excited to see what they can do. Now, against Vitality, they should be considered the favorites, but Vitality find themselves at 3-3.
Yeah.
They're a roster that it's hard to really judge the level that they're demonstrating right now. We've seen them take down teams that you would kind of expect to be weaker, and they seem to fall to teams that are stronger. And it's
I
one
think
of those
we
things
can
are
judge
like,
that level, Betty.
are they in the middle of the pack?
I think they're in the middle of the pack. I expect Vitality to end around the middle of the pack. Karmine Corp definitely one of the top of the pack right now, and expect them to continue to be so. Tomorrow's game against Fnatic is going to be an absolute banger for them.
But we have already seen one upset today with Heretics getting a win over KOI. Let's see if Vitality can do the same as Bands.
We've seen 2.
Did it?
Yeah, Fnatic had one as well.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Now, Zyra... Zyra, Ezreal,
Did you not
and
get
Myrwn.
it?
I didn't get it at first. I was just laughing because that's what I do.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
sorry.
It
We're
clicked.
past 9:30. It's officially Medic's bedtime. Therefore, all these jokes start to come out.
Skarner, K'Sante, Maokai, and Viktor going to be taken away. Shouldn't really come as a surprise as Yike has been playing. Oh, I say a bunch of Viktor. They all blend together, all of the Viktor games.
We've seen a lot of Viktor. Yike has put it out once so far. With Varus still available, my expectations are we'll look towards something like the Varus, but Corki as well a possibility. So the question is, do you pick Corki and Varus and just say, well, Corki mid from the start? Or do you maybe put that Corki down in Kalist's hands, which Karmine Corp have yet to do this split?
Traditionally, we do see it in the mid lane. Yike, is he going to look to grab the Vi? He's showcased a number of different champions this split. If they want to go for more of a front-to-back style, you would expect something like the Sejuani to come through. If they want a little bit more dive, then something like the Zin. Oh, we're going to get a Kalista coming through from Kalista, his first Kalista of the game.
Of the split. Yeah.
Sorry,
It is also his first Kalista of the game.
Was genuinely thinking about how, oh great, we're going to be casting Kalista playing Kalista.
That was exactly what went through my mind as well, Benny.
Surely that will be easy.
I'm just going to pick one of them and stick with it the entire time.
Varus, a common answer, a powerful laner to go up against the duelist that is Kalista in the laning phase. And Lincec's going to be locking in his Wukong. Great backline dive threat. So far you can see great team fighting on the side of Vitality. They're now looking for a little bit more engage. Leona, Rel, Alistair, all solid front lines that would complement this draft very nicely. I wonder if KC will look to ban those away. Is the Sejuani that we talked about, a little bit more front to back. Both sides looking at more of a team fighting game.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, still some poke, but nowhere near as much as we saw in the last game between KOI and Heretics. Now we move into the second ban phase. Poppy, no surprises there with the Kalista already in your pool, and the Sejuani and the Corki want to remove the ability to stop those dashes. Rumble banned away by Vitality. Kano has had an exceptional split so far in Winter. Likely, probably seen as the best top laner so far. I think there's a couple of other names that could be put into contention there. But I think also, if you look at Karmine Corp, you could say a lot of their players have been best in slot so far this split. Kalista obviously springs to mind immediately. Yike alongside him. And we'll see where Karmine Corp want to go for their second ban. Alistair, the removal, so maybe a Rel on 4 here.
It's looking like a trade between the Rel Leonas, between the two bot laners. The question is, what does KC prefer? As Vitality setting their sights on limiting the top lane pool. I wonder if they'll remove the Jayce from Kana. A little bit more poke. We've seen the tank Jayce kind of disappear with the return of the damage one, but still fits very nicely in most compositions. Great side lane threat on one of Kana's best champions. It's going to be the Gragas instead. Another one of his favorites. So he kind of has the pick of the litter, but you expect that to be the last pick. I believe that Rel will be the lock-in for Targamas, as pretty much every support in the league, Rel and Leona are kind of the go-to engaged supports in the current meta.
Yeah, Nautilus kind of fallen off a little bit over the start of this year.
I will say Nautilus could be good here for Vitality. Paired alongside the Varus, good lockdown into both the Kalista and the Corki, but we'll see if they decide to go that direction.
That is the Rel locked in. Wouldn't mind a Braum for Vitality, just looking at the 2v2 in the bot side. Braum is relatively good into Rel, but we'll see if they want a little bit more engaged, like the Nautilus, like the Leona that you were talking about, Vedi. And with already knowing the support as well, picking something like a Leona and then being, having a Braum picked into you doesn't really, isn't really a possibility.
Narco taking the Jayce away. Could push KC towards a Gnar. We talked about the Nautilus. We could look really smart right now, Vitality, if you just lock that in.
I also did say I wouldn't mind a Braum, so one of us is going to look... Oh, no,
okay,
please,
Hilly, that would
Hilly,
be...
come on,
Hilly.
come on, man.
Nah, man,
I've never seen a player die 12 times in the first 5 minutes. Okay, bless. Andrew, calm it down.
I will say, though, again, Vitality's engage is very much centered around this Wukong. It is kind of the meta right now, given that we have so much poke. But the thing with Varus, good follow-up. You also have the Gravity Zone field, Chaos field, the W from Viktor. And the solid follow-up with the Braum, with a lot of skirmishing power, especially on the side of Vitality. Right now, a hover of the Ambessa. Mana has brought that out so far this split. We saw Myrwn to great effect with the champion in the previous game. It's going to be the final lock-in. I was expecting a little bit more poke, but KC really want to try and scrap Sejuani plus Ambessa. Is a great top jungle duo just because of how they synergize with Sejuani's passive. Makes for a very strong top lane combination where I kind of expect them to be able to win out. Of course, you do have the stacking armor passive available on the side of Wukong, who against this many AD carries is going to gain a lot of value. But I'm excited. A lot of team fighting is what I'm expecting. I'm hoping for a lot of skirmishing. I hope we don't get a lane swap, because Kazi versus Kalista is definitely a matchup I'd love to see.
I'm very much looking forward to that 2v2 on the bot side. Our fans very much looking forward to it as well. The battle of the French orcs here. We saw Karmine Corp fans in loud voice as per usual. I saw 3 or 4 Vitality fans as well pointing to the badge. It doesn't surprise me they can't outvoice the KC, the blue wall, but still great to see support for both the teams here in Berlin. Vitality make a beeline for the bot lane. Obviously, Braum very powerful in early skirmishes because of that concussive blows, and there's the pause. I say there's the pause as if we just expected it to happen. Here's the secret, I did.
When we have more information, you couldn't read it at the bottom of your screen because that's where we put it now.
Can I make a comment? I love this blue wall from Karmine Corp fans. Really cool. Everyone jumping up and down, locked shoulders. You know, very familiar atmosphere. You know, we're in this together.
Yes.
The thing that always bugs me about it is you're not facing the screen, and they do it even if the game's playing. I'd be like, hey guys, kind of want to watch the game. You know, I'm enjoying cheering for the team. But what if something happens in the first minute?
Yeah, it doesn't really set yourself up to both enjoy the game and provide support.
Maybe we need to put screens behind the fans as well.
Oh, smart. To accommodate.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Vitality did initiate the pause, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. Players have indicated they're ready to resume, so we'll be getting back into the action. Lickety split. There we go. On to your screens in just a second. Vitality are pushing in towards this bottom side, but Karmine Corp are all on the top side of the map, so Vitality aren't going to find anything in this bot side jungle.
So you're going to see pings come down to highlight how they can sidestep the vision. There's a deep ward to keep track of a potential lane swap. Great vision, but that single ward should see Vitality. Ooh, not yet. Oh, there we go. Nako spotted, and along with the rest of Vitality. So now, KC have the pick of the litter as to what they want to do.
Well, importantly, they also saw that Kazi and Hylissang stayed around, and they see that Nako is backing. So all of Karmine Corp are, like, immediately run into this side of the map. It looks like Kana is going to path towards top. KC seem to want standard lanes. Targmas clipped. We use that Oracle's alteration. It's a 3v4. Hylissang. He's already taken the Winter's Bite. Will flash across the wall, burns that summoner, and escapes a flash for Ignite exchange.
So KC's not only going to get the 2 versus 2, but they're also going to get Hilly's flash. Now, Targamas did have to use the Ignite, but I think they're going to be happy with that situation. Neither side will lose any experience, even if a few CS were dropped. Hail of Arrows will come down. Ooh, nice there from Kalista. Lands the auto just as the minion dies with the Ren, means that he will have the Ren up available. Does the exact same thing just there. 2 quick Ren procs onto Kazi. Immediately gives Kalista, well, I should say, equalizes the HP between the two. Level 2 going to come through, flash in.
Targamas immediately jumps onto Hylissang, who will land that Winter's Bite. Kalista will be stunned up, does have the cleanse, doesn't burn it. Doesn't think he can kill Hylissang from 400 health.
Great response there from Kazi. Trying to proc the passive from Braum as quickly as possible to limit Kalista's ability to follow up. Kalista had the cleanse available, decided, you know what, it's fine, we'll get the heal out. The only downside, Targamas had to expend his flash as well. So reset going to come through from Kalista. Dagger picked up, no pots available for him. Could be a small window for Kazi to get a bit of an XP lead.
And it's less of a downside to have to burn your flash on a rel because you already have the crash down, you have the mount up for extra movement speed, you can use your E for movement speed, but also he has Hex Flash. So if he wants to look for that Hex Flash out of a bush into the lane, always has a little bit of threat.
Now, I am mid laner myself.
Okay.
Big fan of mid lane champions, even though the mid lane meta isn't as exciting as it could be.
Okay. Not enough Katarina is what you're saying.
I wish Katarina would come back. We're praying to Showmaker still.
Okay.
Viktor has demonstrated a number of different rune choices. We saw Grass Viktor last week. We've seen Airy Viktor. We've seen First Strike Viktor. Now we're getting Phase Rush Viktor.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea is that just extra speed is nice to have.
It is.
Easy to proc as well, and it synergizes nicely with once your Q is upgraded, you also get additional movement speed from there as well. And it's just easy to get that proc just because of how your Q works when in combination with your E. And having that extra mobility just helps you circumvent things like Corki rockets along with the Q proc as well. So just want to highlight that because Viktor has become the new Azir, and that basically you can throw a dice, whatever it lands on is whatever rune you're going to take that day, and I'm sure you can find a way to make it work.
Just bring back Kleptomancy, that's what I'm asking for. Play that on everyone. It's, we saw Linsus and Yike meeting up in the jungle. Yike was forced away, both of them going to be even in terms of farm. I think Linsus is like 1 camp ahead right now. It is spotted on vision. Triax staying around in the mid lane as Vladdy TP's back. Didn't quite replenish his entire health bar, but has that tier and will want to start stacking it up.
Kinda expectedly falling a little bit behind in terms of the matchup. The poke is annoying. Nice shield to block some of that poke coming out from Nako. And you can see that early on the trades can't really go in Kana's favor, so he's forced to kind of play defensively, get what trades he can. The priority of securing as much farm as possible. Targamas goes to the Hex Flash. Qs from both supports are sidestepped. Yike Oh, I actually thought he cancelled his base to provide a little bit more time, but the wave is bouncing back towards KC, so he should feel the safety. They have that ward down in the tri-bush as well to spot out if the Wukong is looking to make a play. Dragon up, well, right now, and the Grubs soon to follow in about a minute's time.
Okay. KC will spot Linsus as he walks around the corner here. Can't get rid of that Sentinel. And, I mean, he's been spotted, so he's just making sure that Hylissang and Kazi can push this in, get it all the way into the tower before they look for their resets. Kalista is slightly behind in terms of farm. You can see he's sitting on 29 right now. It's about 6 here for him to collect, but because of his cheetah recall that was not really a cheetah because the wave was frozen outside of the tower, he is going to be about 10 farm down overall.
It's also just Varus at a certain point, I think like around level 3 in the matchup, isn't as afraid. And when you have a stacked wave 2, there's a lot for you to play around, especially if the Q from Braum does connect. Swap is what I wanted to talk about, and already you're going to see it come through from Kazi. Both these teams love to prioritize the early grubs, as many teams do here in the LEC. The resets from Kalista and Targamas will be a little bit slow. Interestingly, Naknako committing the TP.
Kana's going to do the same, so...
I thought the idea there was to try and get ahead of the wave, push it so then you can potentially collapse up towards mids. As that's now going to be started off by Vitality, knowing that their AD carry is first to the top lane.
Interesting choice as well from Hilly to open through mid. Decides he wants to try and get Chayek pressure in that lane so he can move quicker out of mid lane. He will be able to move first, but Targamas and Kalista are on the chase. At the moment, Kazi yet to join up with his team. Hylissang dashes away. The gravity well goes down. 2 grubs secured so far. Linsus doesn't have a smite for the third, though. So Yike will be able to smite that away. 2 for 1, the exchange.
Similar to what we've seen many times before. Hilly not forced to expend a flash, but did of course lose his heal. Relatively low as well. But it's kind of what we've come to expect, especially when you have these scaling carries in the mid lane. They really don't want to fight early, so the battle becomes a lot more about support jungle plus AD carry. And in this situation, not too much happened, which means that now both teams will be setting their sights on the dragon, but of course both top laners are on the bottom side of the map. They just keep throwing skills at one another. The crucial thing is if this Wukong gets spotted, it easily opens up for a dragon. He's looking for a play on the top side of the map. Linsus trying to set up a play for Kazi. Linsus
wasn't pinged.
He wasn't.
Wasn't seen. Hilly's going to jump forward. They go for Kalista, who flashes away, as does Targamas. Double flash burnt. But as you say, no objective on the top side apart from those summoners for Vitality right now.
That should be an easy dragon start.
It should be. Yike didn't find anything in the bot lane, but doesn't really need to, as you say, because he can just go for that dragon. Targamas staying around. Just looking to catch this wave. The crash down shield you get on the Rel can actually be quite a good tool at catching waves as they push in, but it doesn't look like the wave's going to get there too far before Kalista. He might lose, you know, 1 melee and probably won't lose the cannon.
I mean, right now, the state of the game is great for Vitality. Kalista is pretty much a full level behind Kazi. Of course, there is a wave for him to catch, but the pressure is... Oh, level 6s have come through as well.
Kalista has no flash, nor does Targamas. Glacial Fisher going out, Chain of Corruption as well, and Kalista is done for. Hilly taking up the tower now, Linsus takes it. And Vitality with a well-executed dive, they are all quite low, and so I think they call off the redive on target.
And this is only going to make the experience difference that much harder. Kalista would have loved to catch that wave, close the XP gap with the level 6. It's then much harder to dive in, but Vitality didn't waste any time. They knew that Yike was still on the bot side of the map, securing the dragon, and that gave them a window to find first blood, well executed by Vitality.
It really was. They get first blood 8 minutes in. They have about a 1.2k gold lead, and that is predominantly sitting on Kazi, who's 700 gold ahead. We'll have another look at that dive.
And it's pretty straightforward. Kazi doesn't have maximum health, but it doesn't matter. Hilly has the ulti, Linsus has the ulti. The dash comes through, and it's just a chain CC of ultis, basically. It's a good thing that Linsus ends up getting aggro, because Hilly was in a very dangerous spot there. But just utilizing the level differences. Level 6 for everyone made it very difficult for Kalista to get out.
Well played by Vitality. 1,000 gold their lead, and currently sitting at 3-3 in the standings. If they do manage to win this, they put themselves in a very nice spot, qualifying for the playoffs, qualifying for our top 8. Obviously then SK pretty much eliminated. Well, they've already been eliminated by the earlier wins.
Yes, and regardless of the outcome of even this weekend for KC, just a huge testament to the shift from last year, where they really did struggle throughout the entire year. They started off winter incredibly poorly, and it didn't look that much better in spring, but now they were able to get their prodigy, Kalista, to join the league. And I feel like he's definitely like one of those games that has been overhyped, you know, and everyone goes to play it and they're just like, oh, no, this is not what I thought. But I really feel like he's delivered on the hype. He's showcased a lot of highlight reels and he's had a fantastic start. In this game, a lot of focus has been put on trying to shut him down. A little bit was due to how the early laning phase went. Let's charge it.
Unable to get away from the glacial prison, and yeah, Karmine Corp were ready to collapse.
And it's Casey's time to return the favor.
Yep.
They set their sights on Yike, and he was not given an opportunity to move. Nice punish there. Didn't even get a chance to flash. The chain CC was lethal.
TP coming to the top side here as well. Hilly and Kazi. Well, Kazi has the flash. Hilly's going to land the Winter's Bite. Shadowing Strike going down with the crash down as well. Hilly looking to dash to Kazi here. We'll get the Guardian too. Linsa's coming in. Hillis sang the permafrost. Targamas locked up underneath the tower, and here comes the Cyclone. Kalista already dead. Targamas there with the Shadowing Strike as well, but Yike's been stunned up with the staggering blows. Yike down to 100 HP. Target dead as well. So's Yike. Vladdy now propped with the stun. Oh, it's disaster for Casey. The blue wall comes crumbling down in the face of Kazi.
In a 3 versus 4, the bot lane of Vitality stands strong. But it's the play from Linsus that really turns everything around. All of these resources thrown into Hilly, a lot of it going into the Unbreakable. They commit under the tower. Look at Linsus, gets to knock up onto the front line, turns his attention onto Kalista. With the help of Kazi, they're able to get that kill. And now they're on the run. So much of their damage has disappeared. Vladdy doesn't have a front line to play around. And while Vladdy tries his best to get a return kill onto Kazi, the Braum passive does its work. Massive for Vitality, 5 kills to 1.
Just so much CC from that concussive blows from that Braum passive. You see Merc Treads completed on Vladdy now, but across the rest of them, not a single bit of tenacity to be seen. 5-1 the score for Vitality, a 3,000 gold lead. And at the start of this game, we were talking about how Vitality were the middle of the pack. They beat those below them, can't beat those above them. Well, this is an exceptional start towards perhaps disproving that hypothesis. Kazi has gone for the on-hit build. I could have told with the lethal tempo, but has already got his Blade of the Ruin King as well, where Kalista is sitting 2,000 gold in a hole with only a pickaxe and Berserker Greaves to his name.
I mean, it's interesting how at the start of this game we said we really want to see these standard lanes, Kalista versus Kazi, and the moment we get into lane, Kalista gets that level 2, they go for the all-in, it's just nothing but aggression. Kazi measured the responds, able to hold the line, protects his support, and they're able to get out. And since then, it's really just been the Kazi show. The amount of pressure, the way Linsus has played around this bot lane, they've really done a good job of shutting Kalista down, and now he finds himself, what, 25 CS behind, he's 0-2. Kalista, probably one of his... I mean, it's not that he's... Oh.
Public execution down on Naknako. Kana continues to trade in with a repudiation. Naknako with a good flash away from the glacial prison.
Very nicely done there from Naknako.
I don't think he had vision around the corner either, so instinctive. Immediate reaction there. Linsa's looking for Vladdy on the top side. Vladdy has flash, has the Valkyrie as well. This is more just to make sure you're getting those plates. Drake up, though, in 6 seconds' time, and Yike will spend his time on the bot side of the map. 5 grubs to 1 means that Vitality can rip through these towers pretty quickly. Don't have those double mites, but what they can do is try and harass them. The wave cleared out, though. Targamas looking for the Shadowing Strike. Hillisang just outside of range.
I like the lane assignments here from KC. Vladdy just has so much more wave clear. Typically, you'd use it to get priority in the mid lane, but Vitality, they just want to keep playing around their duo, and they've set their sights on that top tier 1, sorry. And Vladdy, with his wave clear, is making it a lot harder for them to dive. Ooh, nice interrupt.
Cyclone on the crash down. Targamas will still flash across the wall. Cyclone for the movement speed, and Hilly lands the stun. Hilly on fire on this Braum. 0-0-6 has been involved in every single one of his team's kills.
I mean, Hilly having a good split overall. He did have that one game where he died a bunch.
He's had a few games where it's been a bit chaotic.
But aside from that,
okay.
He's been very solid. And Vitality playing through the strength of their bot lane 2 versus 2 to great effect. First tower secured means the feats of strength will go to the hands, or to the victors, I should say, of Vitality.
It goes to their feet, Betty. That's exactly where they put them.
Exactly. They will all be slightly faster.
Yeah. There are a few sites that you can look at if you want to know more about the boots. Look at a Wikipedia version for the feats of strength.
Right.
You want to learn more, yep. It's wiki.League of Legends, I think, is the one. It gives you all of that information.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Medic.
It's a good website.
Thank you.
I use that for all my summoner spells and such. wiki.leagueoflegends.com. It's great.
Yeah. So do I. Anyway, Harold spawning in about 1 minute 15 seconds. As Kazi and Hilly have now made their way towards the mid lane. Viktor, he doesn't love being on a side lane. It's the traditional mage with no mobility.
Yeah.
It's some very serious risk. We already saw what happened to him in mid lane. The possibility of that happening on a side lane is that much higher. So he's going to play pretty defensively. And if you look at the minimap right now, you can see him hiding underneath this tower.
Yep.
He can't afford to overstep. They need a lot more information. He should spot out Yike soon.
TP
Speaking
behind.
of,
Vladdy looking for the flank here. They're jumping in onto Nako. Targamas low, though. Public Execution coming out. Vitality going to be outnumbered in just a second, and Nako's already fallen. Yike and Targamas are low. Vitality able to retreat for the moment. Jayce didn't have TP, so couldn't join the fight. He will push towards the tier 2 in the top lane.
I mean, it's a TP investment from Vladdy. He's going to lose some of the farm as Jayce continues to push in top. I mean, like, the idea of getting a kill is pretty good, but you're going to lose your topside jungle for it. You're going to take a lot of damage for this mid lane tower.
I think you lose it because everyone had to reset, right? Like, Targamas and Yike were so low that Hylissang and Kazi can just spend some time on this turret. If they've been focusing just the tower, I mean, they're still going to take it, even with Kalista trying to be defensive.
It's one of those things where, like, sure, the idea is good, but if you're not really converting it into anything, what does the play really result in? They have a TP available for Nako to go towards the bot lane. He's able to prevent that siege from continuing.
And now, because you're on the back foot catching these waves, Vitality have first priority towards the Rift Herald. They've already taken 2 of the tier 1s, almost taken the tier 2 in the top side, and look down towards the bottom side. Drake up in 2 minutes as Karmine Corp's saving grace right now, you would say, is the fact they picked up the first 2 dragons of the game, which obviously delays the soul for Vitality if they are looking for it.
Yeah, it's a small thing from KC where, looking back through some of their VODs, their early objective control isn't the strongest in terms of their setups, and I think sometimes where you see the biggest strength of them is their mid-game team fighting. They have a lot of very talented players, and so when they find themselves in the 5v5s and they have the opportunity to kind of outplay, that's where you see a lot of their skill expression on full display. Especially last week in their 3-0, they had a lot of really impressive fights, especially around Arakan. And that is an objective that I think many teams are still trying to figure out. When to start it, how to best punish, versus kind of starting the objective and using it as a tool. So we'll see how both teams navigate that.
Arakan is going to spawn on the top side of the map. Vitality's trying to get a little bit of vision around there right now. There is a Drake a minute before that Arakan though, and I'm pretty sure Vitality won't want to give that one up. Karmine Corp have some vision in the vicinity, a couple of control wards in the sort of the shallower portions of the river, and a little bit of vision towards the red buff of Vitality, but they are very much standing back, accepting waves. Only really Kana has the ability to push in his lane. Kana's looking for Kazi. Hilly caught out as well by Yike. Kazi, Chain of Corruption goes right. Hilly's on the wrong side of the wall there. Targamas going in with Magnet Sword. Public Execution now onto Kazi. No flash. Cleanse does nothing for him here. They jump onto Kana. Lince is able to pick up that kill with Nako. Bait's cool. Hilly still chasing forward. He has bought so much space, but at what cost? In the end, it's his life. Jayce stepping in as well. Vladdy will take him. Nako has to flash the wall, and Vladdy's there to chase with a flash of his own. It's 4-1 in favor of Karmine Corp.
It is in the team fights that you see the skill expression of KC. Kana, with great awareness, locks down Carlsen on the backline and shuts down the fight before it can really begin. It then just becomes the cleanup show. Even though Vitality find themselves with a 3k gold lead, the Dragon's going to go over to KC. And we look back at this fight, like Hilly trying to get very deep vision without having the proper setup. KC find an angle to punish. They turn their attention on the Kazi. The TP comes in a little too late, but they're back in the fight. Lince is looking to try and steal.
Crash down for Targamas will hold Lince's in place for a second. 200 HP on it. Lince was unable to secure the smite. It does go over to Karmine Corp. I don't even know if Yike smited in that. I think Vladdy just secured it with an auto attack or a phosphorus bomb. Hilly's flashing forward. He's angry. I mean,
the idea is good. If he gets the slow, the Wukong can definitely follow up on that. Doesn't quite connect it though.
Just disrupting tempo as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely looks like that. I mean, now we're in an interesting state because KC find themselves at Soul Point. Of course, Vitality investing so much on the top side of the map to secure that first tower.
Chain of Corruption. Oh, Yike dodges away from it. Gravity Well coming down as well. I agree with you, Vedi. It's a very interesting state. And right now, Hilly. Oh, no!
Hilly!
Well, Hilly's turned to gas, and that's the state you don't want to be in, even if you're playing Braum. 0-2-8. While Kana pushes in the top side.
My man needs to calm down. 3 times now we've said. First, he's trying to get a deep ward without proper wave states. The second, he's flashing onto the Corki. And then the third, he rides the Herald into the tower. Oh my god.
Just like that, Karmine Corp are back in the game.
Oh,
Only
they certainly
1,800
are.
between the two teams. Vladdy 2-1-4 at the moment on this Corki. He's rattling through the damage. He'll have a fully stacked Manamune when he finishes that item, already 360 on the tier. He'll take a tier 1 in the bottom side to almost even it out. 3-2 towers in favor of Vitality. Artican is up. Soul in terms of Drakes for Karmine Corp will be 3 minutes away. Kalista still not in the best of shapes, 1.6k gold behind, but there's a lead for Kana and there's a lead for Vladdy for Karmine Corp.
Arcan is going to be too difficult of an objective to start off early, as we've seen many times before. I imagine we'll return to a bit of a lull state, as Dragon is going to be a very important objective for both sides. And meanwhile, it's crucial to recognize that while all this has been happening, Kalista, a player that was shut down in the early game, put very far behind, he was dove, he was behind in experience, has now come ahead in experience over Kazi, and while he definitely still finds himself behind in randomization and gold, he has been quietly catching up.
Yep.
And I think that through all the chaos that has happened, this is one of the biggest values that KC have gained, of just bringing him back into the game and setting up Vladdy to be the carry.
Talked about lane assignments earlier, and a lot of it was Vladdy is the one who's teaming up with Targamas to try and stop the push, and Kalista is in a lane by himself, collecting that experience, collecting that gold. So it's a great job as a team by Karmine Corp to get Kalista back into that spot. Kazi still 1.3k gold ahead, still has 2 completed items. Still, if he has time in a fight, will be able to rattle through these Karmine Corp members. But right now, Karmine Corp playing well around Vision, have wards into the Vitality jungle. They're TPing behind Linces here as well, but the mid lane tower still stands, so Vitality should just be able to back away to it. Ooh. A route immediately with the Chain of Corruption. Kana locked up, Repudiation for a bit of a shield. The Glacial Fisher coming across as well, but Vitality only have 3 members here right now, and Karmine Corp have 5. Yike able to dash away. Linces goes in with a Cyclone, dodges the Shattering Strike as well, and now Vladdy is on the wrong side of the rift. Now Nako looking for the chase onto Kalista, who does still have the flash and the cleanse. And Karmine Corp were waiting just around the bend to see if they could collapse on Nako overextending, but he doesn't. Vitality turn their eyes towards Artican. We've seen throws here before though, Vedi.
I mean, Yike, very low. Doesn't have anything like the Warmogs to bring him back in. The KC faithful showing their support. Yike looking for an angle back in.
He's been the king of smites so far in Winter.
He certainly has.
Tries to get in, he gets close, he can't get close enough. Shut down by Kazi, no smites available to him. Voracious Artican secured by Vitality, and their lead regained for the moment. Oh,
Kazi has been massive for this team. Nako going to face check.
Straight into a Shadowing Strike. Kalista and Targamas trying to kill him off. Hylissang jumping in with the Unbreakable. They just want to get that false life out. The Magnet Storm coming out as well. Nako and Hylissang, the heal used to try and get them away. Now they turn back onto Kalista, but Kalista and Targamas will take 2 false lives away. They take the Summoner as well from Hylissang. It's not much, but it's something there for Vitality, for KC.
Nako wanting to push that extra wave, definitely end up getting punished. But Kazi, what a hero for Vitality. Punishes the TP. Questionable play overall from KC, because what are they really TPing into? And then Yike ends up taking so much damage from Kazi as well. Then the follow-up comes in from Linces. Vladdy doesn't really have anywhere to go, so he separates himself from the team to make it harder for Vitality to go for more. The poke still comes through again from Kazi. And I mean, he is just a man of the hour, doing so much work for Vitality.
And it's Drake o'clock for Vitality. They need to secure this. A soul for KC. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's still a mountain soul, and that's pretty difficult to deal with. Vitality have those false lives still. So they'll just gain the mid lane prior. They can use their health bars a little bit to do so. Shadowing Strike onto Chayak. He continues to chase across the wall. Kalista has the flash, will use it, gets the face call out.
It's 2 ultis though.
And Kana is having a bit of free time with the top lane tower here. Hilly! Oh, Hilly! Okay, he goes in.
Oh, the idea, I think he was aiming for
Chain of Corruption onto Kalista, has to burn the cleanse. I mean, I like it. I like the idea. It's just sometimes you see Hilly jump forward and you're worried, you know?
You hesitate for a second. But yeah, as you rightly said, the idea was good. He was threatening to engage onto Yike, kind of lowering the judgment from Vladdy, but then he misses the Q onto Vladdy. So no follow-up coming through from there. Yike, again, as you highlighted, has gotten a lot of great smite steals this split.
Not going to get one hit.
Gonna act as sentinel there, deny that entry. Chayek.
Trailing onto Vladdy. Does still have that false life. Shock blast from Nako. Vladdy has to flash. Glacial Prison going wide. Really looking for that Winter Split as well. Karmine Corp did a good job of making sure that Vitality had to invest 5 players to take that Drake, because obviously the threat of a steal was there. So Kana got free time in the top lane, takes that top tier 2, gets a little bit of gold back into his pockets. He's 1.6k gold ahead, almost at 3 items. Eclipse and Black Cleaver already complete.
The advantage is largely sitting in Kazi's pocket.
Yeah.
With the Terminus now completed, the on-hit build has already come together for the Varus. You imagine something like the Jojopyun may come out next. A little bit more durability, synergies nicely as well with the Terminus. But Kazi really has become the man of the hour. Vitality put the eggs in the Kazi basket, and so far he's delivering them to the neighborhood. He's doing a lot of damage.
So he's feeding people.
No, okay, it's a metaphor.
Okay.
Gonna put the eggs in
But
the
when you put the
basket.
eggs in the basket, don't you want to keep them?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's not dive deeper into my metaphor. Okay?
Sure.
It sounded cool at the time. And let's just say that Kazi's doing a good job.
Yes.
Okay? Great job.
Yes.
Dragon.
It's a clucking good job from Kazi.
Someone like that, yeah. Kazi's doing a great job. And Baron becoming a point of contention is a little scary for both sides. Because as we said, both compositions very much about team fighting, skirmishing, trying to find those 3v3s if they can, and ultimately trying to play those somewhat traditional front to backs. But whoever starts it is naturally going to be on the lower foot, in the
low
weaker
ground,
position.
yeah.
The low ground, sure.
And you can't fight. If someone has the high ground,
Yeah.
you just can't fight them.
You certainly can't. We know that to be a fact.
It's over in that sort of position.
Certainly would be. And as I say that, Vitality's just going to start. All right, Vitality,
Well,
would you have the low ground? Here we go.
Will Karmine Corp manage to destroy the Sith, or will they become one of them? This is the
Yeah,
question.
no, they're going to walk away from the low ground, I feel.
There we are. That's smart. Smart move, Vitality. But Kana's still pushing in bot lane, and Vitality aren't really matching him right now. Kana's
So
gonna
the
base.
idea is to get his TP,
Yeah.
right? They're trying to bring him over. They're trying to put enough pressure onto KC to say, come on, get involved. Oh,
So Lince's been doing this quite a lot. Targamas engages though. Chayek has to flash away. Glacial Prison hits. Lince's already killed off Targamas though, and now Yike is next on the menu. Kazi takes him out. You could see what Karmine Corp were looking for, but they couldn't quite find it. Hilly's about to join from the mid lane. Catches Kana.
that was a
does Kana
3
catch him?
versus 4, and Vitality still made it happen. Kana,
Kana's still very healthy here. Kazi's going to have to turn his attentions across towards him. Hilly going for Vladdy now, who doesn't have the flash. The concussive blows will land on him, but Vladdy takes down Hilly. Nako down to Kalista. 3 Barons remain for Vitality. The low ground is still a footing of weakness, it seems, as Kalista is able to find one on the way out. Now needs to get out towards the bottom side of the map. Kazi's on the chase. Linces gives it up, and we'll just go for the Razor Beaks.
I mean, Vitality got a little over-aggressive there. I think Hilly overestimated how much damage Chayek could do. Vladdy ends up getting a kill onto him. Nako, I think his responsibility there is just trying to keep people out of the fight, but we look at this, it is a 3 versus 3, I guess, at the start, because Kalista's not really in a great position. The front line just gets melted, and then the 2 members of Vitality that are on the front line just flash out while Kazi is completely untouched. Then you can see the ulti there from Vladdy acting as a zoning tool. Chayek acting as a zoning tool. Kazi casually takes a sip of his water. Another day in the office for him.
I wonder if Karmine Corp saw the resets, because both Nako and Hilly were coming out of base as that engage happened. So I wonder if Karmine Corp just like, hey, we have a small window where we have a man advantage, we can go for the
I mean, the thing is, it looks so good as well, because Chayek even flashed into what looked like the Sejuani ultimate too, right? But I think that with just Vladdy alone, they don't have enough dive damage. And the fact that both Chayek and Linces had their flash mean that they could immediately disengage once they got the initial kill onto Targamas. So just a bit of an execution blunder there from KC. Is now with the Baron. Vitality, a largely clean game from them, outside of the blunder that happened around the river. They've had a solid one, and they're looking to upset the apple cart as KC, they were trying to fight for first place, and Vitality looking to take that away and secure a spot in playoffs themselves.
With Vitality winning, this does give them that spot in the playoffs. We'll be fighting for the final one. As Nako currently pushing through mid, doesn't have that Baron buff. And that is a small weakness here for Vitalities. They only have 3 of them, so it's a little trickier to actually apply pressure on 2 lanes. Linces and Kazi having to team up to clear out vision in the river right now. Hilly has just reset. a control ward in his pocket, but with the dragon already spawning, there's a small window for Karmine Corp just to pull the trigger on it, see if you can win the 50-50, get the soul. Vitality can start to step forward. Yike has been so good at smiting, and you have the rend as well. Look at how low the Drake is already. Chain of Corruption, Glacial Prison going out, and then there is the soul secured. Karzi locked up in the pit. He was on the front line, and now Vitality need to get the hell out. They'll lose two. Their bot lane dead. The Drake soul secured for Karmine Corp.
I mean, how many times have we got to say it? When KC can just play the 5v5 fights, they're able to come out ahead. But what was the positioning of Karzi there in the pit, making it so easy for Targamas to find the flank? The engage comes through, the soul is secured, and I don't think this game is over yet.
Nor do I, Vedi. 30 minutes in, Karmine Corp have been speedrunning some of their games in the LEC. This one looks like it's going to take a little bit longer, but they will crack the tier 2 in the bot side, the tier 1 in the mid lane. They'll go ahead in turrets for the first time this game and even out the gold as well. We'll have another look at this because, as you said, Vedi, like, what is Karzi doing in the pit here?
I mean, so he moves into the pit to sidestep the ulti, but I think he makes it too easy for Yike to throw that ulti on him. Hilly and Naka weren't even there. It was a numbers advantage for KC. They made the right call to just force the objective. Vitality were too slow to set up proper response. And KC, they get everything. The gold is pretty much equalized. Kalista, he has a full level over Karzi now. They're pretty much equal on itemization. KC definitely now feel like they're in the driver's seat.
With that Mountain Soul in their pocket, just gives you so many free stats, gives you that shield as well to avoid a little bit of the poke that comes out from Vitality. Credit as well to Targamas, his engage has been very solid. That one there, doing a great job. It's easy to hit people in the pit, you can say, but you still got to do it. And he's been on form so far this winter. For Vitality, you're still looking at a good front to back. Like, Linsus has yet to die this game. He's been absolutely on fire. And if you can find that initial pick, you can really rip through Karmine Corp, but they're becoming trickier and trickier as the fights become more about just front-to-back team fights a lot of the time.
I mean, Vitality just need to get more coordinated.
Yeah.
The early game, they punished KC well, but now KC, when they enter this stage of the game, you can trust Kana on a side lane. He's got great awareness of the map. He's going to TP when he needs to. And while in the last fight it was a little late, I don't think he was prepared for the quick response engage from KC. Meanwhile, in the full 5v5, KC's just has great awareness of their positioning. They play the front to back very well. And Vitality, they can't afford to miss position like that. Hilly is so crucial in these fights just because of how much utility he provides and the wall of damage that he can block.
Yeah, it's also, if he's sitting on top of his carries, it becomes so hard for anyone to actually spend time on them. Cyclone coming out from Linsus. Another one there onto Kana just to try and get himself away. But if Hilly's on top of Karzi when Kana jumps in, Kana's stunned. Like that, it's Winter's bite into concussive blows. He's stunned immediately. Glacial Fissure as well stops the follow-up. But if Hilly's not there, public execution just wide there from Kana as he can't quite get onto Chayak. Becomes so much harder. Sheo is now complete for Karzi. Gives himself a little bit more tankiness, but I still don't think it's going to be enough to stop Kana from just killing you.
Blue trinkets across the board. With control wards. Stop to the brim on the side of Vitality. Every single member holding on to one. Linsus with at least two. This is how they'll walk into Fog of War. Utilize those blue trinkets to check the brushes, then rely on those control wards to sweep them away. Then they can protect that space with the poke that they have available. As Void Staff now finished for Chayak. Big item spike to help melt through the front line. Kana getting closer to level 18. And it's resulted in a very tense late game now. Getting closer to 35 minutes. 3 items is really where you see all of these scaling carries come online. The damage is going to get monstrous. As now Kana is no longer split pushing, he's grouped up with the team. 5 versus 5. Flatty looking to get a quick base off.
Has the TP, so can really quickly join back
Must
up
be
with
so
his team.
close. He's waiting.
There we are.
There it
Lord
is.
Dominic's finished. TP's to the top lane to try and get a bit of priority, but because he's done that, Vitality see an opportunity to engage. A window, perhaps.
Let's get the push in top, though. They do lose some space in the river, and Vitality will have first access into the wave, but that top wave and that bot wave pushing in favor of KC. Slowly putting pressure onto the map of Vitality. Karzi's positioning dangerous, but he forces Yike back.
Kana's going to catch the wave in the mid lane, though. He's now joined up with Karmine Corp. Karzi stepping forward once again. Yike almost stunned. Kana looking for that flank position out of vision for the moment. Now seen, spotted by Vitality. Elder, only a minute away. We thought it was only the Baron in play, but the Elder Drake basically game-winning from this position. It does what it's designed to do. Yike still looking for a flank of his own. That pincer movement from Kana and Yike. Just if anyone oversteps.
Feel the tension. Who's going to find the engage? Kazi is on the front.
Targamas, oh, Glacial Fissure stops in the Magnus Storm going in as well. The Cyclone from Linces is perfect. Kazi and Chayak untouched, but Nuk already down. Yike has to flash away. Kalista and Targamas have the opportunity to open up an Linces. The stun onto Kana towards the top side, unbreakable from Hylissang. Vladi and Targamas dive onto Kazi. Kazi has to pop the cleanse, but Yike is there as well to follow up. Kalista gets one. Vladi gets a second. Nuko already dead. And Karmine Corp have blinking health bars, but they all survive.
All 5 members live in the team fight. A great engage comes out from Targamas, and the follow-up delivered. They get that initial pick onto Nuko. It looked like a scary follow-up fight from Vitality. I thought the Kazi was going to clean up, but he does not get the chance. Kazi dancing at the edge of death. Targamas looks for his opportunity. A nice interrupt comes from the rest of his team. The knock-up as well from Linces, but Nuko on the front line absolutely melts. You can see that Yike tanking up very well. The backline, though, completely untouched from the side of KC. Kalista finds one pick off on the mid lane. Kazi then gets locked down. And it's an absolute stomp as all 5 members walk away with the Baron and now the Elder as well.
Perfect timing for Karmine Corp. Baron straight into the Elder play. Targamas just going to keep Linces at bay. Keeps him as far away as possible. Linces jumps in, there was 1 HP, but now the Elder secured. And you have to feel Karmine Corp have the opportunity to really open up the shutdown over to Chayak. They'll get a second, but Vladi rains lasers from the sky to find himself one as well. Linces and Nuko dead. Yike. Is he going to chase for more here? I mean, with the Elder Drake, you have a lot of extra damage, but he doesn't want to go any further. Chayak will get the recall off, 2 for 2 in the exchange. Elder remains on Karmine Corp for 2 more minutes, basically perfectly synced with the Baron buff.
I mean, we talked about it, Medic. What's so great about this KC roster is just the way they played the team fights. Their positioning, their target focus, their awareness, and just their individual mechanics are often how they outplay a lot of their opposition. And Vitality, they made 1 too many mistakes in the ensuing fights that have happened past the mid game. And KC have used those fights to claw their way back into the game. You can see it on the gold screen in front of you. 3.5k was the lead that Vitality sat on. Now a 5.3k flipped on its head in favor of KC. The Elder Dragon, the Baron buff, they've set their sights on the Nexus, and they're looking to tie Fnatic at the top of the stand.
If Vitality can somehow survive the next minute, everything becomes on as even again. You know, 5,000 gold lead at this point, although it is impressive, doesn't really matter too much when everyone is getting towards those full builds. Kalista's overtaken Kazi in terms of builds. Look at the damage from Vladi as well. I mean, we've talked so much about Kalista this year. We've talked about Kana as well, but Vladi is having an absolute storm over split.
He certainly is.
This guy has been on fine form. Last week he had a 10-1, 10-2 Viktor performance. 40 seconds before the Baron and the Elder wear off. Karmine Corp are trying to take it all from Vitality in that time. Inhibitor in the mid lane will fall. 30 seconds now remain. Vitality have to back away, and Vladi is Valkyrieing forward. He's looking for more. The wave in the bot lane still a little bit of a way away. Karmine Corp might just look to close it out here. Glacial Prison hits, and down goes Chayak. Kana with the shutdown. Linces with the Cyclone just trying to buy himself a little bit more time. Targamas going to kill Kazi underneath the towers. Linces next up. Targum won't even fall. Karmine Corp once again looking for the clean 8s. Vitality unable to do anything. Vladi dives in and Hilly dies. Karmine Corp with the comeback of the split to take down Vitality.
Impressive resilience from KC and just great individual play. You highlighted him, Vladi, with a scoreline of 9, 2, and 10. 19 of the team's 21 kills. He stepped up when Kalista was put so far behind. And I mean, that's what you want to see from one of your top teams, that you can trust multiple members to be the clutch factor when you need them most. You can vote for your key player of the game at X, Kana, Yike, Vladi, all fantastic options. Credit to Targamas as well. He had some great engages in those late game fights, but really a testament to this team is a scary team fighting team.
It really is, and now they top the table alongside Fnatic going into our final 2 days of competition here in the LEC Winter regular season. And they all deserve their dues right now. Great performance.
Tomorrow is the battle for first.
Oh, baby.
Fnatic versus KC. One will hold on to that first place position, while the other will fall short. It's going to be a banger for our match of the week.
That is the hope. We'll see how well it can go.
I mean, it's Upset versus Kalista, who I think are two of the best performing AD carries in the league right now. I know there was a bit of a blunder today from the side of Kalista, but I don't think that's really any fault of his, rather than the pressure that was put onto him throughout the laning phase.
Also, he ended 4-2-12.
He certainly did. He bounced back very well.
He was pushed down in the early game, but is that his fault, or is that the fact the enemy team targeted him, right? Like, it's always that sort of thing in a game of League where ascribing blame to an individual player is often incorrect. Although sometimes when I play, solo queue, it can be correct.
Definitely someone's fault.
It's usually someone else. We are just waiting for an interview. I see Ginny behind us.
But it's a frustrating loss for Vitality because it's a position where they played the early game very well. They conceded dragons in order to make sure that Kazi got ahead of Kalista, the star of KC, in order to then snowball the game. And you felt like in so many of these fights that he would be the individual that would turn things around. But he made one too many positional mistakes. We saw a little too much aggression from Hilly, and the coordination ultimately did fall short.
Yeah, well, Ginny is ready with Yike in the Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. Just over there.
Welcome back. Thank you, guys. I'm Ginny, standing by with Yike in a Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in. And there's the Karmine Corp fans as well. I'm going to be a little bit louder so that you can actually hear me. That was a really great game that showed incredible resilience from you guys at KC.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game was very scary early game, and yeah, I think we made a good comeback. I think we played good later on, and yeah, I mean, I think we were very resilient. Yeah, we played on dragons, and it was easy to come back.
How do you stay that resilient for so long as a team? Because there were a couple of points when you lose Atacon, when you lose Baron, where you're like, oh, this might actually slip away.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a bit scary for sure when we lost Atacon. I was like even trying to steal it, just try to save the game, but I kind of trolled. But yeah, I mean, I think we just kept talking about dragons, We knew dragons are like a win condition for us, and we knew we could play it well. We have Kalista, we bursted it, and it's good.
They said that you're very cute.
Oh, thank you.
That's adorable. I mean, the fans have been very supportive, very loud. How is that when you are in the game? Can you hear them through your headset?
Yeah, we can hear them, and it's nice, It gives a little boost, and then you never want to give up, Even after the disaster early game, we never wanted to give up. We still looked for all the chances we had, and we did a good comeback.
When I look at you guys as a team, I feel like the confidence is there, the resilience is there, the communication is there, but also individually, every single one of the players has that ability to step up and actually make a game-changing moment happen. How does that feel from your perspective as a jungler? Does it take a little bit of pressure off of you as well?
Yeah, I mean, this game, for example, I just had a feeling that anyone could step up and do a good play, and I think the team fights, I think individually, we all just played very good, and I'm very happy with that. It's very rare to find a team with all 5 players being individually very talented, mechanically, and yeah, we just clutched it.
And you're 6-1 with this as well, just like Fnatic, and you're playing them tomorrow. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to in that match?
I mean, I think it's going to be a very hype match. I want it to be a very fun match, and I guess a fighting match. I want it to be a very good match for the viewers to watch, and yeah, I think we're going to win it.
Okay, I love the confidence. They love it too. Thank you so much for your time and for the interview. That's all from us on this side of the studio. We're going to be heading over to PGL with Laure, Odo, and Reha. So take it away.